We've spoken a lot about the issue of anti-Semitism, and I know that you, like I, and many of our viewers have spoken to much loved members of the Australian Jewish community who have providing feedback to me on, I think, on a daily basis, pretty much, as to just the fear and the worry, the concern about their safety, understandably. Where we look at this from a safety perspective, a national security perspective, I know you're the Deputy Chair of the Parliamentary Committee on Intelligence and Security. Should we also be trying to unify rather than have a political fight on these matters? Because when there's politicisation, doesn't that put heat into it?
I think it's important to recognise that where you have one side of politics or a political party that is fundamental, and particularly when that one party is the one that's holding the reins, they're in government, and they have fundamentally failed the security of our Australian public, I think it would be reckless if we abandoned any concept of calling the government to account. That's what oppositions do. The opposition is the alternative government, and this government, the Labor Albanese government, have been absolutely asleep at the wheel when it comes to anti-Semitism. From the 9th of October 2023...
Does mandatory sentencing, does that change everything, do you think? Or, I mean, that's your policy, to have mandatory sentencing.
That's just one element of our policies. What we are...
Would that be enough to shift the dial? Because this is, at the moment, is quite an appalling scourge we're seeing there.
It is.
The vandalism, the violence, the threatened but as well.
But from... You've got to see this in context, Kieran. From the 9th of October 2023, and I'm referring to the actions of some people on the steps of the Sydney Opera House, where there was appalling scenes of anti-Semitism. You know, we know what they said. Yeah. We won't repeat them now. But where those people were left to do that, what they did, that emboldened them and others on the far left and on the far right. If there are no consequences for those actions, people will continue to escalate until, sadly, I mean, we are in a situation now where lives are at risk, where there are fire bombings of a synagogue, fire bombings of a childcare centre.
Yeah, it's appalling, yeah.
We need to have laws in place which, quite frankly, will ensure that the seriousness that the Australian public hold these offences in will be dealt with appropriately by the courts rather than a slap on the wrist.